Okay, so I want to continue where I left off in the first video on nutrition. I was discussing the common characteristics of the healthiest people in the world, the traditional cultures that Weston A. Price studied. But first, I want to mention that Dr. Price wrote a book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, and the book has actual photographs that he took of the healthiest people in the world, so you can actually see for yourself, just by the way they look, how healthy they are. You can see their perfect teeth and beautiful bone structure. And he also took pictures of the people eating the not so great diets with white flour, white sugar, processed foods, and you can see how much narrower their faces are and the narrowing of the teeth, and just you can see how unhealthy they became. Their faces become more deformed the worse off their nutrition is, and it's actually very sad. If you go on the Weston A. Price website, they actually have an article or two on things that we are told that are orthodontic problems, and people go to correct them, such as overbites. And these are actually caused by nutritional deficiencies. And in the article, it has actual pictures of people, or you can see their faces are deformed, and people think they're actually born that way, that it's genetic, but no, it's the result of poor nutrition. So from lack of nutrients, they do not develop physically correct as they should be. So it's very important if you have a baby to get as much nutrients as you can, especially from animal products. And I want to stress the importance of animal fats. That's another common characteristic of the healthiest people that Dr. Price studied. They all consumed the animals along with their fats, and for the type of fats, it's mostly saturated fat, obviously, and monounsaturated fatty acids, and very little polyunsaturated fats, which, in the common media, they tell us that we want to be having these polyunsaturated fats, that saturated fats are bad for you. But no, that's all lies. They tell that to us so that we will buy their cheap, uh, their cheap vegetable oils. It's very cheap to make, and it's profitable, and it's much more expensive to be using the actual healthy animal oils. That's not profitable for them, and the food industry is all about profits. It's not about keeping us healthy. So they feed us lies through commercials and the media, telling us what is healthy and what is not, but you can't believe them. It's not true. Saturated fats from healthy animals are very healthy. It's what our bodies need. And that leads me to talk about the second common myth, uh, that fats don't make you fat. They like to advertise in the media that things are low fat or non fat, you need to eat this, but you do not want to be eating that. Those are denatured foods, and another of the common characteristics, as I said, of the traditional peoples, the healthy people, they did not eat any non-fat or low-fat items. They ate full fat. Always ate the animals with the fat. So the myth that fat makes you fat, that is not true. What makes you fat? It's actually carbohydrates that make you fat. So what is that? Mostly, I would say wheat, bread, pasta, cakes, cookies, that sort of thing, and especially sugar. Those, I would say, are the most common items that cause weight gain. Uh, Grains in general, so any type of grains, very heavy in carbohydrates, and that turns into sugar, which turns in your body, which turns into fat. If you want to lose weight, the best way to do that is to actually eat fat and protein, but especially eat natural fats. You can't be eating man-made fats. You can't be eating Crisco or the man-made vegetable oils. All those oils aren't healthy. As I said, they're man-made, and you want to stick with nature. Eat the natural fats, and that'll help keep you thin. Fats help keep you satiated. You won't feel hungry much longer. When you're eating carbohydrate, sugar, that breaks down in your body very fast. That'll make you hungry fast. It'll make you want to eat more. But when you're eating the natural fats, that, like I said, that makes you feel satiated, so you're not likely to eat as much. And of course, it tastes very good, so you'll be satisfied in that way as well. But getting back to the myth that fat makes you fat, no, that is completely not true. It's carbohydrates that make you fat, and the media wants still, they want to make you believe that fat makes you fat. As I said, it's all about the profits. But as far as eating fat and considering calories, the media, they like to advertise this is low calorie, or you need to count your calories, and there's a lot of diet programs out there where they tell you to eat a low calorie diet, but it's really not about the amount of calories you eat, it is what you eat. You can be eating 6,000 calories a day of just mostly protein and fat, and maybe some carbohydrates from vegetables, but not eating any grains and not eating any sugar. And then you can be eating 6,000 calories a day of all sugar and cake and bread and pasta. And don't you think there will be a difference among what you'll look like? Of course, the one eating all those carbs is going to look like a fat slob, but the one eating 6,000 calories a day of just fat and protein, no, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to end up fat. So that's just something to think about calories. Just really don't concern yourself with calories. I never count my calories. The calories do not matter. It's all just marketing out there to get you to believe that they matter, and so they can advertise low calorie foods and do the low calorie diet. But no, think about what you eat. So getting back to the other characteristics of the traditional diets, another important thing is that all the traditional cultures, they ate at least some of their animal products raw. So as I said, I like to eat sushi. So, some of them ate raw meats, but other than sushi, I'm not too fond of eating raw meats. But I do like to have raw dairy, and a couple of the traditional cultures that were healthy were the Swiss, and also I believe they're the ones isolated up in the mountains, and also the Maasai, if I remember correctly, that was the name of the tribe. They were two of the cultures that they consumed a lot of raw milk and raw dairy products, and that's what I prefer to do as far as my raw animal products. Raw milk and raw butter, raw cheeses. But those are all very good, very healthy, and they contain actually probiotics in them, which is very good. As I said before, when you pasteurize the dairy products, it gets rid of the good bacteria. You no longer have that in there. So there's so much to cover on these nutrition topics, and I will probably make another video after this to continue discussing this.